And we're back. Game number 2 of our first best of 3 of the night. Invictus Gaming taking on LGD Gaming in the first game. Well, it was a short affair, and to be honest, LGD looked like they were trying to do something new. They had Black farming the Pudge. They had, I can't remember who it was. It was Pycat and Misery, I think, were swapped on 2 heroes, or maybe Brax. Basically, they were all trying something new, and, well, to be honest, it looked like they were trying something new against one of the best teams in the world, because Invictus Gaming managed to hang a loss on them right around 23 minutes in. So now their back's up against the wall, and to be honest, at this point, all LGD is playing for, LGD International, I should say, all they're playing for is pride. They've been essentially mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. Still have a couple series left, including this one. So maybe that's kind of the plan. Try some new things out, do what they can to try and get practice, try to develop themselves as players and as a team. And that's fine. It's always fun to watch that, but they are going to take some losses, especially against heavy competition like this. To lead things off, Invictus has shown us Naga, Marana, and Beastmaster. Invoker and Crystal Maiden, the first 2 pickups from LGD. And yeah, Misery is going to build a Midas, and I'm going to rage at him to break down why, not necessarily about the Midas, but why the draft has gone the way it has. Welcome back once again, Ben Merlini. Woo, Merlini, my friend. Game 1, just kind of a mess to watch. It was an utter domination fest coming out of Invictus Gaming. And Merlini, if you're there, my friend, we're not hearing you. I'm gonna...
hello.
Welcome back. That pesky mute button plaguing you once again.
Indeed.
Go ahead, my friend.
10 seconds.
It was a short and brutal game last game. I was talking about how LGD, and if they want to try something new, I think you need to tweak like certain things about your lineup one at a time. Like, for example, you run Invoker with your lineup, or you run Tide as an initiator instead of something else. You can't just change everything about your lineup and be like, oh, like pick and choose one thing that works out. You need to just change one small thing at a time and be like, okay, this worked well, this didn't, and you'll know exactly if it didn't or didn't work because, or did or did not work because you just changed 1 or 2 things about your lineup. When you just change everything, everyone's just like, oh, this is new and fun, and we don't know what we're doing. And they just ran around like chickens with their heads cut off, or they just didn't run around at all and didn't get any kills with heroes that they should be getting kills with.
Right.
But like, I think one really important thing that has constantly plagued LGD is that Black is really limited with his playstyle. I think he needs to be able to move around more, especially if his team needs it. And they really did need him to pick up the slack last game.
Yeah, I mean, you pick a Pudge. You don't pick a Pudge for him to farm and then decide to get active at 15. Like, that's just not how the hero works. He needs to be a terror on the map. And really, when you have a Night Stalker with the early onset of First Night at 4 minutes and even at 8 minutes having the Night Stalker ready to pop his ulti, so on and so forth, that plus a Pudge should have meant that Invictus felt very, very trepidatious about setting foot anywhere on the other side of the river, anywhere even near the river for that matter. And you just didn't get that feel from them. They felt in complete control of the game from word one. And they never really just let up. And Black, unfortunately, just unable to get things going. Finally hit a few hooks as he came down the stretch. I mean, but basically by that point, he had already proven to be rather ineffective. And I'd seen Black play Pudge a long, long time ago. I'm sure he has since then in some tournament or another. But certainly just doesn't fit his play style. And that's not a knock against him as a player. What he does, when it comes to what he does, he's one of the best in the world. And I think LGD International are going to be much better suited with making use of him in that way as opposed to trying to put him on unorthodox farming carries. The 5 done now for Invictus, Nagasire, Marana, Beastmaster Lion, and Templar Assassin. I'll tell you what.
It's going to be the Ferrari TA. Uh-oh.
Yeah, and Marana is going to have an easy game with hitting arrows. There's really no other way to say it. Ensnare there to set it up, Rorta there to set it up out of the Beastmaster, Earth Spike, and Hex, of course, and TA Slow. There is no reason why Hal should be doing anything but just landing sacred arrows from the moment he plays.
To be fair, I thought last game it was going to be easy arrows all game, but that certainly did not happen.
Yeah, it's
But this game is easier. I agree with you on that.
I'll tell you what, Black's going to be on the Lone Druid. I have not seen Black play a lot of Lone Druid at all. I'm sure he has
a couple of times. It's decent. It's his type of hero, right? It's
if
you let me do my thing, then I'll just own towers, farm up, get huge, and own you later, right? That's his type of hero.
Mm-hmm. I want to say that I remember him playing it at some point, but I can't really remember any details about it. I mean, generally speaking, Black, especially through 6.78, really favored Alchemist and Lifestealer especially. Liked his strength heroes. Liked Phantom Lancer, liked Anti-Mage, of course. Anti-Mage I still feel like is arguably his best and most stable hero. I haven't seen him have a bad game on any mage in a long, long time. But not going to be the pickup this time. Looks like IG is going to be running as 5 or very close to 5, coming down into the river. Don't think they're going to be invading right now, possibly just fighting for a little bit of vision, poking their nose up near the Radiant side Ancients. That's going to be enough to allow them to get a ward down. Brax will be pulled back. But we'll take a look at who's going to be handling who. Hang on. Hal, once again, sticking his nose out quite a bit, but has to place his first point. Could skill leap if he really, really needed to. But as expected, the ward's going down. Keep a little vision, block a little Ancients, that kind of thing.
Actually block the Ancients? That's like really close to not blocking the Ancients. I assume that it does because I think that IG is a good enough team to know what blocks and block things, but still, that's just like extremely close. But I guess they want a lot of vision of it. I'm not exactly sure if it checks the rune. It's like maybe blocked by this one tree right here, but it's very, very close. But still, good one nonetheless. They are fully aware that Tinker, especially on the Radiant side, has an easy time. I think they expect Tinker to be in mid. Probably not, actually, because Pycat is playing and Brax is typically their offlane player, and looks like that will be the case. Freedom looks like he's going to be the one to be stacking the Ancients for him, but he doesn't actually have sentry wards on him. They definitely should have sentry wards, because if they fall behind like they did last game early, especially with like this sort of lopsided matchup for TA usually destroys an Invoker. I mean, I haven't seen it at 6.79, but still TA should destroy him.
And would like to take a look through the lineups. I'm not going to do it the way I usually do. Hold that thought. Not going to do it at all. As Brax is going to eat the arrow after the ensnare. March is there as well, and the Hex to follow it up. That's going to be first blood. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, surely they were going to finish that up. Bit of damage being done to Hal, and he's actually going to end up dying to one.
He should have eaten a tree.
Yep.
He has 8 tree eaters. He has to eat one while he's tanking March.
The Soul Assumption, more than enough to get the job done. But make it 1-1. First blood advantage, though, does end up going to IG.
Good kill by them, though. Being able to shut down Tinker, the longer they delay the BOTs, the more they can keep up the aggression in the early game. Tinker is actually a decent counter versus a late game TA. You just go Scepter, she can't do anything about it, and then you can just rearm Go Scepter, and then if you have a Sheep, you just constantly kite her. If for some reason Go Scepter's on cooldown, you just laser, or if she's focusing your teammates, you laser too. And March takes off her frac. So all in all, Tinker's skill set is very, very well equipped to handle a farm TA, but that's pending they're on equal farm, and probably not going to be the case. Templar Assassin did get pulled to Tangos on bottom lane. YYF, wow, look at his Mohawk.
Yeah, I've actually got that same set. I love this set on Beastmaster. I think it's badass.
It looks like Zangief.
Exactly.
Doing Street Fighter references.
That's right. I want to know what that Kunkka set was that Ferrari was running. Like, seriously, like I don't even play Kunkka, and I'll buy that set just on pure principle of how badass it is. But taking a look at mid, seeing how things are matching up so far.
There's more death.
Up atop, Brax once again picked off. They do end up trading 1-for-1 as Naga goes down. They're going to be able to get Freedom as well, though. And that's not the guy you want getting a double kill at 2 minutes in. The carry played by Hal off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, and looky here. We have a Potom that's actually contributing to early game kills. That's such a concept, and some teams pick up on it, like Na'Vi and IG, and some teams just want to farm away with him all day, every day.
Light of Heaven, love his heart, did nothing but farm against Alliance and never for a moment felt relevant. That's basically how that works. Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad you and I are in agreement there. It's always unpleasant whenever one caster feels so strongly about something like that. I very much agree, though. But Carrie Marana...
Also because I want blood, but, I mean, Marana's a fighter, not a farmer.
Exactly. She's not a lover. She's not a lover. She's a winch. She's a buzzsaw. Anyway, make it 2-3. Invictus leads this second game. They lead the series 1-0. And right now, Brax not getting a whole lot done. He's got a little bit of farm seeing in 8CS, but he's traded away a lot of deaths.
Again. I don't know why they're still up here. They've died like so many times already. They've died 3 deaths in their lane.
There's the Sacred Arrow to follow up the Ensnare. Riptide's there. They're going to be able to get a little help from Pycat in mid, but not before we see the Visage drop. And Brax doesn't have anything off cooldown to be able to finish the job. March of the Machine showing its potency, but unfortunately, when it's 3-on-2, March just is not enough damage. If they had any hero at all up there, that could have been 2-for-1 going their direction. As it stands, though, IG doubling them up, 4-2 overall.
How many deaths is it going to take LGD to realize, hey, this double lane is not working out versus their triple lane? We have died 4 times, but hey, maybe next time will be better. Like I don't know why they haven't learned yet. It's pretty obvious to us. It's pretty obvious. It should be pretty obvious to other people that it's just not working out. And finally, they rotate someone with Misery, and looks like Black actually gets a solo kill on the Beastmaster. So very well played by Black. It is definitely his type of hero.
Yep, I had the camera on that. It's one of those things, Lone Druid hits 6. What do? You
smoke.
You start whittling away as much as you possibly can and hope for a root. He got his root underneath the enemy tower and got a kill because of it. So YYF certainly an MVP, if not the MVP of Game 1. Looking to make sure he has another good performance here in Game 2.
Yep. Smokage everywhere.
And up here in mid, Ferrari hiding out, waiting for help, hoping anything goes his way. Does he get a help? Yep, here we go. It's there on the Pycat. Ferrari takes off running. Misery trying to pursue him out. They're going to be able to get Pycat, and here comes Ferrari back for blood. There's an Earth Spike to lock down Pycat one more time. Do they have the damage? They do off of Refract.
Splash.
Yep, off of the Psy Blade. So Ferrari, very heads-up play, very prescient play. There's the dust. Misery says, nope, not going to wait this time. Refraction in 1 second. 3 mana. He was 3 mana away from being able to refract. So quick thinking on the part of Ferrari actually got him a kill, and Misery with some quick thinking of his own got him at least 1 return kill. We're all knotted up. 10 kill split right down the middle, 5 apiece.
Still very good movement by LGD. That was a 2-on-3 situation, and they managed to trade 2 for 1. So very smart play by them. They should have had a dust earlier. If they had that, it would just been a simple 1-for-0. But Pycat can't afford too many more deaths. He actually has an early Basilia, so it looks like he just wants to do a lot of split pressure with 4 spears. And I mean, armor is useful versus meld, but I mean, he's still going to die anyways if he's caught out of position.
Brax finally starting to suck up some solo experience, very desperately needed. Mirana not that far ahead of him, all things considered. I mean, given how badly this lane went, he has been able to catch up. He's just about half a level behind. Hal, though, sitting at 3 and 1 at the moment. Brax on the bad end of that, sitting at just 1 and 2. We take a look at the net worth. The Druid's way far ahead. After that, though, comes the Mirana and the TA. And we've yet to see that really begin to shake itself out. Still very early in this game, much more active than Game 1 was for at least a little while.
Yeah, and LGD.int is just moving around a lot better. I think Misery rotated like a little bit late. He probably shouldn't already be level 5 before he picks up a kill, but still good movement by him. And this is what they lacked last game. And now that Black is on a very useful hero with farm, they can play like this. They can play 4 create space while 1 farms. Somewhat like 4 protect 1, but more just space creating instead of actually protecting.
Yep. Definitely agree. Something Alliance does very well. Instead of a 4 protect 1, they basically just put pressure on the map. Think of it like pressure points. Apply pressure to certain points on the map, make the enemy react, and make it so they can't reliably apply pressure to you without risking losing.
Beastmaster, Roaring Bottom, or with 3 people. This is going to be a kill unless they are there very, very quickly. Checking TP scrolls. No TP on Misery. Or 1 TP on Brax, but he's not fast enough. Visage doesn't have a TP either. So if they find Black, he's dead meat. They have a ward over here. If he pops up right here, they should be able to spot him out. But looks like they're actually going for somebody else. The smoke's just about to wear off, though.
Moving in the mid. Freedom likely to be the first they hit. Check that. They're going to find Brax. Marching the machines. Letting them know what's going on. They actually hesitate off of that, knowing they had help.
Might go. Oh, they have a ward here, so
yep,
very smart ward by them. They have a sentry ward on Faith. I think they should probably be aware. Oh, they're actually might come from uphill. This is very bad for them. This is going to be a 5-on-3 situation.
And there's Moonlight Shadow. The Hex goes off, and Misery going to be the one roar down. Here comes the Bear, and a nice Earth Spike allows them to kill at least 1. They trade 1 away very quickly. Ferrari is there with Refraction popped. Moonlight Shadow allowing them to retreat at least somewhat reliably. YYF still being pursued out. They have no vision of him. Mirana has once again picked up a Midas.
Who's on the Bear? Is he going to pick up
a root? There's the root. Black getting pro player roots, because that's what pro players do, get roots at the most opportune moments. LGD manages to come away victors there, 7-6.
Yeah, and LGD.int finally in the kill lead of the game, and they had the gold lead too, 750 for them. Checking Brax's BOT status, still 1,400 away. That is very troublesome for LGD.int. How, on the other hand, has a Midas, shoots an arrow, misses Misery. I'm surprised that Misery didn't actually use his dust a little bit earlier. He was uphill on them. He should have been able to hit it on time, but regardless, still Black just going crazy with his farm.
Gotta admit, I'm not the biggest fan of the hand of Midas on Mirana. Wasn't a fan of it earlier today, and I'm not a fan of it now. I feel like a more mid-game centric item. Apply that 1,900 gold to something to help your team now instead of later, because you are playing against one of the best hard farming carries in the world in Black, and he's certainly off to a fairly good start. He's going to have his Midas right now. Actually, it's being flown out to him. So coming out around 9 minutes, not too shabby, but they're going to be even on farm. We'll see who's better, if it's going to be Hal or if it's going to be Black.
Yeah, you have to consider Ferrari too. Ferrari is like their backup carry, and LGD and also has Brax as their backup carry. So these two one roles are not as important as usual. Misery trying to put some pressure on how up top he has TP support in from Brax. Brax actually bought a bottle, so his thing will be delayed even more. So I think that IG should realize this. They should check his item bills, see that his item progression is very, very slow, and be able to kill him or kill Black. Those are the two most important heroes for them to keep down right now. How may be picked off. Nope.
Gonna be able to make it away. He's got a leap. Still ready to go. Phase would certainly help here in mid. Pycat caught with an Earth Spike after the side trap from Ferrari. Throws down the ice path. There's the dust. Ferrari, though, able to get himself another kill. And now Misery gonna be blown up with two big nukes. Banana, very low health, threw out the finger of death, and Ferrari followed it up with a meld up at top. Looks like we might have action. There's a roar on to Freedom. Sacred Arrow will follow it up. No, it hit the creep. Could end up causing a problem. Allows him to get off a lot more damage, and that fight was definitely won by that suicide creep. Make no mistake. They will finally get the Visage, but it cost them two to do so. And that creep getting in the way, no doubt about it, changed that entire fight.
How could have done some next level plays right there, and Midas the creep. He had his Midas up, but come on, man, you gotta get that gold. That would have been sick. But he also is a little bit greedy with his build too. If he had a magic stick there, he probably would have lived too. He actually had leap up. He just didn't react in time because he thought he could kill the Visage before the burst came. So I mean, generally a pretty safe player, but just not getting away there. 3-2-2 on him. So his score is actually much worse than Black's. His gold and net worth should be also suffering similarly.
Black has ducked himself into the jungle, has a Midas of his own. 1,000 gold on top of basic early game items, so we'll see how quickly he can get things going. Taking a look at the gold graph, we can see that LGD International actually has the lead as of right now. The experience is too close to call, but trading blows with IG, I mean, that's a nice step for them, especially given the way things started. That duo lane in the off lane just fell to pieces almost immediately, and being able to bounce back from that is testament to them.
Ferrari has to be very, very careful. Does not have a pre-refract up. He is trying to block this wave. He needs support. Faith is level 6 behind him, though, so that is their emergency button.
Misery out in front. Ferrari out in front of the tower. They've got 3 heroes in the vicinity. And Misery and Freedom head uphill just a smidge. They're going to try to bait out an engagement with Pycat. Pycat going to eat the meld. There's the ice path that goes down. And Ferrari going to... Oh, Song of the Siren is right there. But the Visage Familiars are enough. No! The meld is there and the arrow. There's the roar coming out of YYF. Misery going to be the next to die. There's the there on the Pycat. Freedom going to drop as well. Pycat likely to drop. They may lose faith in the process. Good body blocking, and the Riptide allows them to trade 1-for-1. YYF way too far forward, and the Forged Spirits body blocking him in return. So some nice micro on both sides. Misery did buy back. That's a 4-for-3 trade. In the meantime, Black is taking the bottom tier 1, so LGD comes out on top there, even though they did have to buy back once. Black bringing down the tower should more or less pay for that buyback, though.
How died again without using leap? Like, where is your panic button? Where is your leap? He has to stop dying in these fights. He's what, 3-3 right now after a fantastic 4-3 after that fantastic start on top where they constantly killed the Tinker and the Visage over and over. So that should not happen. How has to play a lot safer. Maybe even just get a drums. Look at his HP right now. 800 HP versus Visage Burst versus Tinker March and Laser Rocket versus the Invoker Lockdown 2 and the Force Spirit. There's like a lot of things in a root. He has so many things to be worried about. I'm surprised he didn't go a more defensive build. Medallion up on the Lion. That should be a very early Roshan for them. I'm surprised that they don't have a trap in here. I'm also surprised that Lion wasn't there for that last fight. He didn't have Finger up, but it still would have been... I'm pretty sure he wasn't there for that fight, but it's still 4-on-4. LGD.int just cleaned up that fight.
Pycat decides Midas is for him as well. 13-minute Midas coming out on him. How? Still using his Midas. Black with his Midas. Misery is saving for a Midas. Make no mistake, he's been slowly accumulating gold, even though he bought back, which...
They see Black. Yep. This might be his first death.
There's going to be the side trap blown on him. Ferrari's right there along with the roar. Misery's there to try and help, but not a lot he can do. Misery is lucky he didn't get engaged upon there either. But IG with a high priority kill, that might be the word go for Roshan. Looks like it will be. Between Meld and Medallion, that is going to be a fast Roshan when they decide to take it. Looks like the win is right now.
And the greater boar too, with that attack speed slow.
I mean, just the damage. Minus 12 armor on Roshan because of those two items. And there was a TP actually canceling out. Visage Familiars have an idea of what's going on. Ferrari going to be able to bring one down, and they actually end up losing them both. Here we go.
They have the BOT on the...
Yep, Brax is there, and Faith going to throw out the ensnare. Roche is at about half health. Looks like IG is not feeling confident about this Roshan attempt anymore. YYF's going to go ahead and exit out, as will Banana. And Ferrari, bottling back up, has his Blink Dagger up. We'll see if he wants to go for it again. Brax heads back to the base. Doesn't look like they really want to take it right now. And given how the armor reduction they have, that just shows you how scared they are of LGD International's lineup right now. The fact that even with that much armor reduction, they're not confident to stay.
Places that in static areas are very bad for them. The Martian Machines is very, very brutal. If he casts it in this trajectory and then they have to like retreat back through it, they will just get massacred, especially with TA really relying on that. But they did force out a Visage Bird resummon. If they got like the second kill on the birds, I think they would have went in. But unfortunately not able to do that. Black's Radiance is going to come fairly shortly too. He had 2,800 gold after he died, sitting at 3,100. So they're pretty close to his relic. Naga Siren has sleep up in case they want to go on mid. Or take Roshan, for that matter.
Yep. Faith having sleep. A nice safety belt in its own way. Pycat continuing to add to his farm. Again, has his Midas up. Did Misery buy a Midas? Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, he did. Of course he did.
They used the invis. He has a Force Spears to scout out, but he doesn't know that they're invis. They don't have a sentry pot down either. And Misery, playing greedy as usual, doesn't have any support items on him. Looks like Pycat is going to take a spill.
Pycat being pursued out to the top, and now spotted out. There's the Hex. Going to be blown up. However, Banana going to be re-engaged upon. Oh, beautiful Earth Spike. Caught two. Misery roared out afterwards. The Forge Spirit trying to chase down Banana and unable to clean the Forge Spirits up in time to prevent the death, but that's a 3-for-1 exchange all told. And right now, that's, I mean, I think that proves the point, doesn't it? 1,400 gold, 1,900 gold he could have put towards the gem, could have put towards any number of things. No support items, getting a Midas up. I don't like games with this mini Midas. I just don't.
I think they would have been able to get ahead. All they need to do is just delay until Lone Druid gets his Radiance. And then once he gets his farm, like that's pretty much all the items that they need. Like a CM with a Force Staff is not going to make that big a difference. I mean, it'll make a small difference, but not like losing these fights are just a much bigger deal. Now YYF just 40 gold away from his mech. Now they lose like a little bit of map control, may lose Roshan as a result, and the items are going to start piling up on the side of IG. Ferrari has 1,500 gold in his bank. Let's check Lion's progression. 400 gold on him. I think he needs like a Ghost Scepter or something like that. The Visage Birds and the Forge Spears just absolutely wreck people too. And there's not really much they can do about it.
Brax beginning to show off his Boots of Travel and Blink Dagger and do what Tinker does. Bounce all around the map and find farm no matter what. That Midas again, now complete on Misery. And mech done on YYF. Okay, now this is going to be the test. I mean, when you look at the number of Midases that are up, you've got how many now? Three on the side of LGD International, one on Black, one on Misery, one on Pycat. For IG, they've just got the one on the Marana, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see how their mid-game investment of gold into Medallion, into Mechanism, etc. So let's see how much more that pays off for them moving ahead.
They scout out everybody. Ferrari trying to do Roshan, but Martian Machines is pretty hot on their tails. They have very high mobility with the Visage Birds. They can just like TP him in over here and then just spam March, and that's just so annoying. They cast Sunstrike. They know what's going on here. Ferrari is taking down fairly fast, but no DD. There's only 2 heroes in there. It's just not as fast as they would like.
There's the Familiar spawning it out. There's a stun, and now LGD moving through. And they're a little split up. Faith and Banana are kind of left out by themselves on the outside of the pit. Using that March of the Machines to split the attention of IG. Makes it hard for them to come help each other. Roche is at about half health. They're going to go ahead and loop around. Here we go. Pycat moving in. There's a Deafening Blast. YYF is there. There's an Ensnare from the high ground. And they're going to roar down Freedom and engage on Pycat. Pycat going to be blown up. There's a Earth Spike from the low ground. Freedom next on the kill list. And down he goes. Misery being pursued out. Brax is engaged, but his damage output just not all it could be. They end up forcing a buyback out of Pycat, and wow, Hal actually got caught with Sunstrike. Now there's a Hex onto Black, or onto the Bear. Black does end up dead as Banana blows the Finger of Death. Brax and Misery forced to pull back. There was a buyback on Pycat for that fight that accomplished absolutely nothing. Now Roshan almost certainly will be their prize. He's still hovering around half health.
That was just a fantastic initiation by IG there. They knew their positioning was superior. They were uphill. They got the downhill roar. They got the downhill ensnare and the arrow on 2 high priority targets. So 2 heroes are stun locked for like 2.5 to like 4 seconds. And after that, the fight's pretty much lost. TA just blinks in, cleans them up, and very, very nice. Song of the Siren disengaged by Naga Siren just to wait for their cooldowns to come back up, and then after that they just focus Black. So IG's like focus and execution in that fight was just very, very good.
Had a little bit of a server disconnect there, but looks like all's caught back up. I actually prefer that to the constant skipping and stuttering. So all we missed was Roshan dropping and everyone going back to farming. 14-19. IG.
Misery has his Midas. Time for the game to change.
Yep, I know. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of Mass Midas. I really am, and I really hope this. I really hope this proves the point. I mean, there's 3 on the side of LGD by themselves, and then Mirana has 1. And getting 1 on your carry, fine. If that's what you want to do that. But as of right now, it's 3 heroes on the side of LGD who could have other items that could potentially help them out in the mid game. And
they're like 6,000 gold ahead, though.
Yeah, they are. I'll give you that. It is what it is. There's the Radiance up on the bear. But
that's actually pretty scary for TA. TA, like if he gets BKB, he can still get rooted. It's a difficult life for him.
Here we go, tower. Very low.
Take an engagement even with the Aegis.
Yep. Invoker gets the last hit. There's the ensnare onto the bear. And it doesn't look like they're ready to commit into this. Right now, LGD, just a little bit too daunting. March of the Machine's a big reason for that. IG is just going to have a hard time for the foreseeable future engaging into LGD so long as they have their heels dug in just because of March of the Machines and the way it affects TA in particular more so than anyone else.
They need towers. Yep. IG just needs towers so badly. They have 0 towers now. 20 minutes in. That's very, very bad. They don't have a great pushing lineup, but you think, oh, they're far ahead enough on kills. They're 5 kills ahead. They won a big team fight. They took down Roshan. You think that they'd be able to get it, but yeah, just not even like close to getting one down. Like bottom 1296 out of 1300 HP, only missing 4. Top is the only one that's about to die, but Glyph coming online in 1 second's time, it's just a tough road for them.
And we can see LGD's not willing to let up on the pressure. They're beginning to run as 5. I would imagine they're going to look to do something as 5 very soon with that Radiance up. Yep, and there's that smoke. As anticipated, they're going to try to find themselves a target. YYF. Looked like he was pinged out of top. Pretty sure Misery just pinged him there. And that will be him leading the smoke charge. And the problems for Misery is he doesn't have anyone anywhere nearby. The Visage Familiar is trying to get some vision on him. He's back near his own tier 2. They're going to move into the jungle. And in the meantime, IG has most of their personnel down at bottom.
That's just a low priority kill, though. Beastmaster, who already has his mech, who's just kind of in a support role right now. You can just buy his drums if he's really fast about it, too. But he will narrowly dodge the gank. They placed an observer ward that just scouted out as he was leaving, so they know this attempt has failed.
Aegis reclaimed in about 3 minutes, and it's time for IG to get some use out of it. LGD going to double back through mid here. They may try to pressure the mid tower in response. This mid or this bottom tier.
They're just going to get a free tower on bottom. They're not in position to defend. If Tinker TV's in, he's going to die.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. They may. Looks like they're going to try and pressure the mid tier 2 to try and force a reaction. But the tower here, even with Glyph, likely to drop entirely too quickly, especially with Beastmaster there to axe out the wave a little bit. And here comes Black. He's actually going to wander right in here. That's a little bizarre. Just wanders in by himself. Moonlight Shadow is there. They're going to pursue him out. Finger of Death going to be blown. They're going to be able to get Banana afterwards, though. And Song of the Siren catches Black out. Ferrari is actually going to be stunned by the Visage Familiars. He loses his TP. Brax is there. They're going to try to bring Brax down, or Black down, I should say. Brax is there to help out. Ferrari has the Aegis popped. Can they get Black? Aegis back up. In the meantime, they're going to re-engage on the back of this. Freedom got roared. They're trying to chase it down here. Black still up and going. That's a triple kill for Black. And now YYF.
Are you sure 3x Midas isn't winning?
I don't think it's that so much as a Black's free farm and not getting enough out of their kills early on. But
wow, he had his Desolator on the courier.
Yep.
And if he has it like he actually had it in his stash, but if he has like 2 hammers right there, actually he only could have carried 1, but if he had his Desolator right there, Black would have dropped very, very early. He probably would have survived before the Aegis. They wouldn't have to pop Song like that, and it would have just been a much better fight for them. I'm actually lagging out from the game right now.
It's all right. Happens to me too. Got it under control. All you need to know is IG still leads in kills, but the gold not going in their direction. LGD International has opened up quite a berth, 10,000 gold in their favor. The experience a bit closer, sitting at around 3,000, but with the Aegis gone off TA, this is going to be LGD International's time to shine. This should be their game to set the pace. Black is quite far ahead in terms of net worth. Right behind him is Brax. The Mirana going with that Midas again. Really? I mean, she's got her Manta up. She's got her Aquila up. She's not feeling useless by any stretch, but it's just like we saw earlier today. She's just not that big a factor, and she's been spending her entire time farming for the most part. And I don't think it's any coincidence that when Hal felt the most powerful was when he was working in conjunction with his supports, making things happen, landing arrows off of ensnare and so forth, as opposed to trying to show up and be nothing but a right-click carry.
There are so many things to block the arrow, though. They have the bear, they have the forward spirits, they have just regular creeps, they have visage familiars too. It's very difficult for him to land one, even with a setup. So I think LG and Strat is like pretty well equipped to deal with a bottom arrow, and Hal maybe feels like, oh, I can't hit my arrows, I'm just gonna go farm. Looks like he may die though. He is gonna die.
Yep, caught out completely, and down he goes. Had just used his manta, could have manted out of that cold snap, but whatever. And for right now, LGD just, I mean, it's goofy mistakes. It was actually goofy that Black wandered into the jungle the way he did and kicked off that fight, but they're just so far ahead that they're beginning to run over IG no matter how they engage.
Yeah, Tinker is becoming a real problem now. Look at his gold, 3,400 gold on top of an ultimate ward. He's going to have a sheep. I think IG is like very, very close to the point of just losing everything.
There's the whir on the Black. Don't think they can blow him up quick enough. Mech's going to be used, but it doesn't matter. Just look at the damage output. YYF can't stand and fight. Faith kind of can. Ferrari, with that Deso and the help of an Ensnare, will be able to finally pick him off, but it cost him 2 for Y, or actually cost him YYF for 1 for Black. Faith using the mirror image. Ferrari's there, ready to try and blow Freedom up, and actually brings down the bird first. Ferrari hiding out, will finally be nuked down, caught with a Wellbutt, and Faith immediately blinked upon. Scythe of Ice freshly completed on Brax, shown off for the first time, and now Hal might be in trouble again, able to Manta style out of the cold snap that time.
I think they're too far behind right now. They lost a couple engagements, and LGD now with all their Midases, they didn't even need Roshan. And now with the Midases, with the Radiance, with the Sheep, it's just the item difference is way too big on the side of them. They didn't kill Tinker enough. They did a pretty good job at the early game, but then they focused too much on Pycat in the middle and just didn't shut down Black. They didn't shut down Tinker. Now they're really paying for it. 26 minutes in, kill lead that's finally swung in favor of LGD.int, but gold lead 12,000 in favor of LGD.int.
12,000 indeed, 5 digits. Just a 26-minute game, 43 kills in this game, so things got busy quick. And even though IG, again, for the most part, has held a kill lead this game, the farm potential of LGD has just been through the roof. I still refuse to acknowledge it's totally the Midases. I think it has a lot to do with Brax and Tinker being the way Tinker is. But fine, 3 Midases beating 1 Midas, I'll say it.
I think Tinker TA needs BKB. I also think Mirana needed to fight a lot more earlier. I think if you can't you can't go half-ass versus Midas. You have to group together as 5, push living daylights out of them and fight and make them die a lot, or you try and outfarm them, whether through more Midases, whether it's through just getting towers or just through getting kills, whatever it is, you just have to outfarm them. But you can't do 4 people fighting while they're fighting as 5. You're going to lose out just because of sheer numbers with Midases or not. And then you have Hal farming, but he's died 4 times this game. I think he has way too many deaths on bottom this game too. You could have just left out.
Well, I mean, when we saw him looking the most effective is when he was actually working to get picks. I mean, and then he decided to settle back and go into farm mode. And since then, IG has just kind of fallen apart. And, I mean, you take a look at the goal graph, it's not like it was ever heavily in their favor. I mean, IG, in fact, has yet to hold a lead this game, or maybe right around 3 minutes for a moment or two after getting those picks at top, they might have had a lead. But for the most part, it has been all LGD International all the time. And Misery now blinking in, showing off the freshly minted Blink Dagger. And LGD just has that feeling like they can just 5-man and basically do whatever they want. And IG's just going to have to bend over and take it.
They really can do whatever they want. They can just blink and sheep anyone if they try and split push, if they're ever farming alone. They have the blink sheep for team fights too. Very great initiation. They have Ghost Scepter on Tinker, so he's pretty much invulnerable to TA. It's just a really big nightmare. There's finally the 4-step on Lion. They try to smoke gank top on Tinker, but unsuccessful.
Roshan back up in about 30 seconds. Neither team obviously quite knows that yet. And we'll find out which is going to be the first to figure it out. Scythe of Ice done on the Invoker. And with the Scythe coming out, that's really the big problem, is they just have so many ways to account for and lock down the damage dealers on IG that, I mean, unless they just completely screw the Poocher and a nice Naga Siren ulti sets up the most unbelievable chain of initiation you've ever seen, they're just too tanky, have too many ways to account for too many heroes.
Ooh. Ferrari just barely got away from farming the Ancients there. Just blinked out right as Misery blinked in. So, see, 30 minutes in, Crystal Maiden has Midas, Blink, and 2,200 gold. So her Necrobook's going to come up next. TA is just not very effective when you can't keep any... They didn't really keep any of the heroes down on LGD, and Pycat got his farm on. Tinker got his farm on, and Black too. So all the important heroes on LGD got the items that they need, and Tinker's really, or TA's really a snowball type of hero. He really relies on being able to 2- or 3-shot heroes with that Desolator, and now they have Deafening Blast, they have Frostbite, they have Visage Stuns, they have Laser, Ghost Scepter, Root. There's so many things that Ferrari has to work against, and I mean, what else does this team contribute when TA's locked down? Pretty much nothing. They just have disables but no damage.
Black able to bring down the top tier 2, so the last bastion of map control for Invictus Gaming goes down in a shambles. And they have yet to take down a tower. No, check that. They took down tier 1 bottom. Forgot about that. They've yet to take down any tower except tier 1 bottom. And really, this game beginning to feel like it's all over but the crime. A lot of mobility, a lot of blink daggers, a lot of force staffs, etc. up on LGD. They're going to be able to really just take a fight anytime they choose. In the positioning of IG, one little mistake is going to be an instant pick between the Scythe and the Burst.
Yep. Yes, it is. And yeah, I mean, all it takes is like one small mistake from IG, and then they can just take out the Rags. And Lone Druid is just so good at taking out those towers really fast. Looks like Lone Druid almost has his AC up as well as a Vlad. So, I mean, not just the Radiance at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and this is one thing LGD International does, and it's both a good thing and a bad thing. I don't really think it's going to matter this game. But we have seen LGD, for lack of a better word, throw some matches by not pressing an advantage when they had it. I don't really think it's going to matter given how far ahead Black is, just as much as anything, given the hero he's on. I mean, if there's any hero who is
Look
just...
how long it takes her to kill 4 spirits. Like, this is what a free farming Potom does.
Yep. Yeah. Pretty sure me and Merlini are the anti-Potom crew, or anti-carry Potom. We don't like it. Don't disappoint us, team. Stop picking Potom as a carry, please. But 22-21, game by the scoreboard would seem to be much closer than it is. And Ferrari scouted out immediately. He had just blinked in to take a shot at that Roshan and caught out with the Sunstrike. And Black, in the meantime, just continuing to get huge. Assault Cuirass should be done very soon.
LGDN just needs to secure Roshan, and then they can just push an end. There's really not that much that IG can do to stop them. Like, what do they have for the Roshan pit? Song of the Siren, like, maybe perfectly timed. They can try and steal it, but even if they steal it, I don't think they can win the fight there. I think they just need to take it to deny IG sneaking it in at some time. But, I mean, LGD is still just walking around very cautiously, even with this 20,000 plus gold lead. And
continuing to just hover around the pit. We see IG. They do have Song of the Siren up. She is level 13, so even after she uses it, it won't be the longest cooldown. Waiting on it to get back up. Certainly, level 16 Naga makes it considerably harder to push because of the low cooldown on Song. But don't know if she's going to get there. Is now the Assault Cuirass completed on Black, being flown out to him right now, I'm fairly sure. Or if, actually, did he already grab it? Looks like, yep, already done.
Yeah, just waiting around the Roshan pit. I don't exactly know what LGD is waiting for. They already have the buyback on the Tinker. They have, I guess they're probably waiting for the AC. No, AC's already done on Black too, so I'm not exactly sure what their go sign is. And you did talk about how LGD sometimes can't close out games, and they're just waiting, but they do have the Midases on their side, so it's not a big deal, but still, not being able to push up into the T3 when you certainly can. Yeah, questionable decision making.
Yeah, I was kind of touching on that. I got a sidetrack. This is something we've seen them do. I don't think it'll matter that much this game because of their composition and because of the hero that Black is on. Lone Druid, just one of those heroes. He has 12 slots instead of 6, so you can afford to do this kind of stuff. But they are bad about hitting a timing window and taking an advantage when they have it directly. I mean, take a look at the goal graph. It's not as if IG is in the process of turning this around mechanically. But sometimes you can just let a team hang around too long and let them get up 1 or 2 extra items that maybe they didn't need that maybe have a bigger effect than any items you can farm on. And sometimes that can be a difference maker. And we can see Ferrari able to, he's not far from his BKB now. And who knows, that I'm not saying that's going to be a difference maker, but it could end up being a major factor in an ensuing fight coming up. Black is finally, though, going to take his shot at Roshan, going by himself this time.
Yeah, he can easily solo Roshan. Brax can just laser and constantly sheep it too if he really desires. IG, they kind of know he's going there. Faith's getting illusions in. If they know he's at half HP, this is pretty much do or die for IG. They have to take this or they're just going to lose the game.
Roche down to a quarter health. They're going to go. They need to go right now. Where's our Naga Siren? Naga just now making her way up. They need to sleep. Need to sleep this, and there it is. And Hal moves in. Can they steal it in time? They can. Mirana grabs the Aegis and immediately popped out afterwards. However, they did manage to snag it. Just no way to follow this up with any kind of a big win. They're going to end up losing 3 plus the Aegis there.
GG.
Yeah.
After that, that was... I mean, they even sold the Aegis, but they don't really have any... They can't just, like, TP out or something like that. I mean, maybe if they, like, time it really well. But, yeah, Mirana buying back. This is pretty much the last push of the game. Temple Assassin didn't even use her BKB that fight. So, yeah. I mean, they still don't have TA. 4 people are there, but I don't think LGD.int is scared at all.
I don't either. And, I mean, they just don't have the damage. The bear's too huge, especially with Alacrity. He's just going to chew through this base. The glyph just doesn't matter. They really, and Brax spamming out Rocket certainly doesn't help anything. Just nuking down these underfarmed, underfed secondary heroes of IG. The melee rack's going to drop without a whimper. Down goes the range racks, and they should feel pretty content to just rotate wherever they want now.
I don't particularly like the Beastmaster pickup from IG. It paired very poorly versus Lone Druid, and we didn't really see that much out of YYF this game. Like, he couldn't keep the Lone Druid from farming bottom. He couldn't really keep anyone else down through his rotations either. And usually we see him with just much higher just impact on the game. And maybe something like Clockwork, it doesn't pair too well versus Lone Druid, but it can shut down Tinker and Invoker pretty heavily, especially before they get 4 stats. And if they get Blink, they're still going to die. So... I think like somewhat of a lineup issue with IG, but just completely outplayed in the mid game too, and just failing to capitalize on LGD.int having so many minuses. I also think Hal just died too many times early, just like not eating his tango after that first blood, not leaping away when he could have 2 or 3 times, and just choosing not to fight with his team when he doesn't have, like, how is he going to carry versus Black? His net worth, Black's net worth is 50% more than the Bottoms right now. 14,000 versus almost 22,000.
Chat trivia. Who is the only player to build Hand of Midas more than 100 times, 144, in fact, in competitive Dota 2? I'm going to go with Admiral Bulldog.
Admiral Bulldog. That's a pretty good one because it was a Nature's Prophet that built the most Hand of Midases.
Yep. And Lone Druid. Not exactly shy about building a Midas as well. And that's my guess, though. What about you, Merlini?
That seems like a pretty good one to me. Can't argue with that one.
All right, here we go. There's the arrow onto the Forge Spirit. Bear going to town here on this melee racks. It's going to end up dropping, rotating now over to the range racks. Ferrari going to be hexed out. Misery's there to follow it up. They're going to end up popping Moonlight Shatter. Here comes Naga, but not really a whole lot they can do but delay the inevitable. And IG might try to reinitiate. And the blinks, though, the mobility too big. Blade used on Hal. There's going to be an ensnare. Brax safely coming through it, though, because of F-Blade. And there's the Hex again on Hal. Laser and a couple of auto attacks. More than enough. One more root on the YYF, and they call the GG. So, we're going to a Game 3, and finally, LGD. Too easy, huh? That's right. That's right. No, I'm just too good, son. Just too good. Tell you else is too good. It's LGD International. Black back on a hero that suits his playstyle. We talked about it in Game 1. Black's a farmer. It's what he does. He likes those late-game heroes, and when LGD International gives him what he's good at, this is oftentimes the result. A very impressive win for them. We're going to a Game 3, Merlini.
Yep, yes, we are. And LGD, when they actually have a real draft and they give Black a hero that he can actually thrive on, just a very quick work. IG, I don't know. They need to work on the draft. They need to work on their early gameplay. They need to work on their teamwork, especially with Hal.
And IG, I think you just summed it up there. Just kind of bullied around. And by the time Black got his Midas into gear, got the bear big, there really wasn't a whole lot to be said. So LGD International, even though they're playing for nothing but pride, playing well. here at our first best of 3 of the night. 28-21, the final kill score, 37 minutes, 31 seconds, the official game time. We're moving ahead. Game number 3 on the way. I'm your host, Aaron A.C. Chambers. Thanks so much, guys, for being a part of the broadcast. Game 2 behind us, and once again, the first best of 3 coming up tonight. Then after that, we got Western Dota coming back up at 9 in the morning Pacific Standard Time because, D2L's round-the-clock coverage, man. It's like the old-school headline news back when 24-hour news networks were a thing or a new thing, and occasionally you'd take some downtime. That's kind of like how we do it. Make sure you stick around. Game 3 coming up in mere moments, and stick around for the rest of the night as well. We'll see you back in just a few here on the HyperX D2L.